sounds great.
Slow, we got a spot where the good times go. Kick back, pull up, take a seat. Laughing so hard you forget the week. No script, no rules, just jokes on blast. Stories flying way too fast. If you're bored, well not no more. Cause here we go at 4 o'clock sharp. You hear that knock? That's the fun at the door. Tuesday at 4, yeah, we're hanging out. Got your belly skunky friends all around, talking nonsense, laughing loud. Best damn hang you're gonna find in town. Tuesday at 4.
The following show is being broadcast in front of a live Facebook and YouTube audience and is being brought to you by the Hippie Broadcasting Network, WTHC Radio, and Stoner Records. Now, here are your hosts, Dosa Gonchavelli and Little Skunky.
Yay!
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another wild Tuesday edition of Stuffed and Uncensored live on WTHC Radio. Hold on, itch on my back. All right. Now, before we get started, I need to address the giant Dosa-shaped cloud hanging over the studio today. Apparently, Dosa Gonchavelli heard rumors last night that a couple of people didn't like his voice, or him for that matter. And anybody who knows Dosa Gonchavelli knows that the man does not believe in sticking around when he is not appreciated. So I woke up this morning, I walked past his room, and everything was gone. His clothes were gone. His microphone was gone. His incense was gone. Even the half-eaten bag of Funyuns he had been guarding since February was gone. All he left behind was one lonely sandal and a rolling tray with a note that said, "Dear hippie, I know when it's time to move on."
No, I miss him.
We have been looking for him all day. We've checked dispensaries. We've checked the beach. We've checked behind the studio because he's kind of lazy.
Yeah, everywhere.
We checked the refrigerator twice because, you know, he really likes his snacks.
Why don't you buy him a new bag of Funyuns?
Maybe.
And leave it in a trap.
Buy us a new bag of Funyuns.
But wherever you are, my brother, I send you my love, Dosa, my prayers, and nothing but good energy. Sail on, sailor, sail on. But as they say in radio, the show must go on. So from this day forward, I am the hippie, and I will be jumping into the passenger seat every Tuesday to co-host the Stuffed and Uncensored alongside the one and only, the Blue legend himself, Bongwater Blue, everybody.
Yeah,
thank you for being here, Bongwater Blue.
Right on. Thanks for having me.
And we are definitely not alone.
You know what?
What?
With those ears, old Gonchavelli might have caught the breeze. He might be 3 states away now.
He may have, yeah.
Yeah.
We have tornado warning here in the Poconos, too.
He might be
Probably
4 states away then.
Street right now, walking down the street with his little hobo bag.
He might paste it up against the neighbor's house.
Wait, hold on. We are definitely not alone, though. I still got another hour of reading.
Nice.
We've got the always brilliant Aviva, the one and only Scribbles, and of course the laboratory truth tellers who are never afraid to put the cannabis industry under the microscope. Of course, our friends Jeff and I'm sure Mo will be along shortly. Today, we are asking one huge question, With federal cannabis rescheduling possibly changing the industry forever, could this finally be our chance to fix the cannabis industry testing across America? We're talking pesticide standards, I can never say microbial, I can't say it. Microbial, contamination, mold, Aspergillus, THC, potency, inflation,
Herpes
lab,
simplex 10.
lab shopping, and why the rules can change completely just by crossing state lines. Can we create strong federal standards without ignoring the unique dangers faced by different regions? Can we protect patients without letting politics, profits, or dishonest laboratories control the results? And can we finally make sure that when patients are told their medication is clean and safe and accurately tested, they can actually believe it? Well, grab your favorite seat, light up responsibly, turn up the volume, and join the conversation. This is Stuffed and Uncensored, for patients by patients, your 420 celebration station. Let's grow with the flow. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being here. It's very sad to hear about Ganjavelli. Yeah?
I'm shocked. I wish you would have warned me.
I didn't know. I got here
I
this
didn't
morning.
either.
Yeah.
I wish you'd have went 2 months ago.
I wish you would have went 2 months ago. He might be the one that's causing the issues. I don't know, but all I know is I found a note this morning saying he left for good. Anyway, let's get on. Hi, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Let's thank everybody. Frank, how are you, Mo? Frank. Jeff. What the hell ever your name is. Jeff, how are you?
Good Lord.
Can I hear you? No, I can't.
Jeffrey, you got to leave and come back, brother.
Speak.
Beat it. Maybe. I wonder if he can hear us.
I was wondering if he was faking it, but then I guess not.
He might have been. He said, watch this. He said,
he's probably devastated. He probably lost his voice because of Ganjavelli.
He said, hold my lab coat. Watch this.
Hold my lab coat and watch
this.
Yeah. Ronnie, welcome in. Frank, thanks for being here. Welcome in, T-Bro. Catherine, we love having you always. And, of course, our friends, Harvard Labs. What's new with you, young lady? Well, we have an opportunity while we're waiting for Jeff. I see you singing with the local waiter. I'm falling in love with that guy. He's a whistling fool.
Yeah, he hasn't been there the last couple of weeks, but...
Can we hear you now, Jeff?
Oh,
going on, you dork.
As my friends, little strangers say, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Why are we having a hard time, bro? That's not going to be good.
It is the way.
Anyway,
it is the way of the weed.
It is the way of StreamYard. And I pay you monthly for this crap. Yeah.
Maybe you didn't pay.
Oh, that's a good point.
Ooh, whoops.
Bill.
Hey.
I forgot to pay the bill.
Hey.
They're like, no, Jeff is allowed. You got to pay the bill until Jeff's allowed.
This is horrible. Hey, while we're waiting, what did they ever do with, since you brought up the rescheduling?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about. I don't want to ruin it.
Well.
Pouring here. Did you guys get a rainstorm last night?
Yes.
Oh my God, you sent it right up to me because it is thundering. We got a tornado warning here.
We sent it over to Texas.
Oh, you sent it to Texas?
Yeah.
Somebody sent it to us.
Well,
how about you?
You're welcome.
Going on with me, and then you wouldn't even let me answer.
No, I want to know what's going on with you. I'm sorry.
My mouth is
that's
full.
Him, and I don't want you to talk with your mouth full.
It's me.
So I was covering for you.
Right.
Well, I'm doing a lot of building with hemp plaster.
What are we building, though?
Yeah.
All kinds of things. I built a playhouse here at a public garden. It's called the Wild Center.
Out of hemp?
Yeah. Well, originally it was just cobbing, which is a combination of clay and sand and straw. And
no hemp.
And then hemp became legal.
That's an Adobe.
this was before hemp was legal. I built it in like the early 2000s. And then we got like 35 bales of hemp hurd here on a project. And so we replastered it with a hemp hurd plaster. And I also put some hemp hurd in the cob since we had so much of it.
You haven't caught any teenagers over there trying to smoke it or anything now, have you?
No, but I have been stopped by security a couple times going into government buildings with my hemp hurd samples.
That makes sense. Glad they're on top of that shit.
Yeah.
Well, then what happens?
Those
You
dangerous
just leave it in the
people.
basket and go on, or what?
Oh, they just interrogate me.
They
And
give
then
her a hard time.
Yeah.
Check her ID 6 times. Strip search her, whatever they need to do.
Where'd you go? The Pentagon?
No, just to testify at the Capitol, bringing samples to legislators to show them this material, because my vision is to, if we incorporate it into more building and educational systems, not only will it take away the stigma of cannabis, but it'll restore its healing properties, which is not just to heal you after you have issues, but also to prevent issues, not only through nutrition, but also through eliminating the toxins through a lot of the building materials. Like, this is toxic free. Not only is it toxic free, I think it has a magnetic energy that helps our whole magnetic energy feel more
I've
energized.
heard that. I don't know if they've
And
called
you
it
want a car
magnetic,
that
but
runs
they
on cannabis.
it absorbs all of the toxins in the air around you.
Yeah, it's called grounding because it has more electrons.
And then they cut it down and it grows fast, so you can grow it once or twice a season. I've heard, maybe even twice a season. You can
and you want a car that runs on cannabis.
You can even use the plaster over your sheetrock.
Well, you should have changed the name to.
car.
I think more people would have loved it. No offense, if it was, "Don't you want a car that runs on hemp?"
They tried to get me to change the word.
People hear the word cannabis and they're
Not
like,
quite
"No,
the
I don't
same
want to put
ring.
my weed in there. I want to smoke."
Well, it'll stand the test of time. You know, it goes through phases. You know, when I first came out with it, they said they'd promote it if I said hemp, and that was when they separated.
Show up.
That was before they separated the definition of hemp from cannabis, and they succeeded in that. But see, it's one plant, so I like the message.
No, I get your message. Yeah, I get your message.
But yeah, just to finish up with the plaster, it's mold, rot, fire, and pest resistant. Yeah. It's mold.
Jeffrey, you look like you've been on vacation. Where you been? He looks calm and relaxed.
He missed you so much.
Did you hear him?
That week off last week must have gave you a real good time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, there it is.
I don't know. I tried to sign in several times and it wouldn't let me sign back in.
It's a good thing you were about to be replaced by Mo.
Damn.
Yep. Ganjavelli actually came back. He was like, "I want his job." I was like, "No, too late." No. All right. So you ready to get this shit started since we're like 20 minutes behind schedule now?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I've had a ton of time for this show because we had last week off. So I put it out there and we've had numerous questions written in. So I have a million questions for you. Of course, you take it wherever you need to go because you are the expert. Of course, that means you too, as Aviva over there, as you being an expert as well. Me and you, young man, over there, and Scribbles, of course, bringing the enthusiasm, Scribbles. And me and you, young man, we just sit here and look good. Ready? Melissa Carter from Scranton, PA. That's right here by me. She wrote, "Jeff, before we get deep into the science, what is the single biggest problem with cannabis laboratory testing in America today? And how does that problem directly affect patients?"
Sure. Yeah. So that definitely hits on some of the parts of today's topic. I would say really the biggest problem that we see across the board in all the states and in a bunch of different labs is just truthful lab results. So whether it's reporting of the THC that's on your test result, or whether it's under-reporting of safety failures, such as for microbials like the mold and yeast, or like metals, or not reporting pesticides, like just truthful lab results across the board for all the parts of the testing. I think that tends to be the biggest problem that all of us are currently facing. Yeah, and I mean, as far as for patients, I mean, there's a couple of aspects to look at here. One is like, if you're buying a product and it isn't, and you think that you're getting this flower that's supposedly 35, 40% THC, whatever it is, but you're only getting like 15, 16% THC, like on one side of it, you're getting cheated out of the product that you actually paid for, right? You're paying for a premium product and you're only
I
getting
think of it this way, Jeff. If you're going in there and you know they're cheating you and you know they're lying immediately, so you just assume that you're getting a 17, and then you're not really feeling like you're getting cheated. You're just paying a little extra for that quality 17, no?
Well, yeah, I mean, but if that part of the test result isn't accurate or truthful, then what makes you think the rest of it is? Like look at Summer Parker, for instance. She purchased products. I know she purchased products. They had a bunch of pesticides in there that they found, and then she got hurt and went to the hospital for it. So it's like, what was on those test results for those products? Were they truthful? Were they accurate? Because I don't think so. And if something like that was allowed to pass, then people are going to get hurt.
Actually, absolutely, it's going to get worse because
Yeah.
every time they let something get by, then they're going to say, "Well, if that passed, then I'm going to try this next time," and maybe
We do
this
that
is
with everything, though.
Yeah, but we don't have to, Blue. We don't.
Well, I
have
know
to,
we
bro.
don't have to, but we
You
do.
could try to make efforts to stop it. Anyway, that
All right,
being
wait a
said,
minute.
what? Well, go ahead. You got a question, I think.
Jeff, I've got a question from, let me see here. It says Bongwater Blue in Florida.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking about rescheduling. I never heard what the outcome was, and how will that affect or not affect what you do?
Wow. So yeah, this is actually quite detailed. So right now, pretty much every state has their own administration, and they have different rules. They have different limits for microbials. They have different ways that pesticides that they're testing for. Every state is completely different. So when it becomes federally legal, which it's pretty much already signed in that way, right? At some point, like somebody
federally
like
legal, as in like the same as Tylenol with codeine, not federally legal like all across the country. It is now federally illegal, right? Am I confused?
yeah. So it's being legalized for medicinal use currently on the federal level. So they've signed the
Oh,
executive order. Everything is moving towards that direction. And what this means is, like, on some federal level, that there will need to be some kind of coherent standard in every state. So, like, at some point, every lab is going to have to test pretty much the same way as far as like how they're testing for the potency or the microbials or how many pesticides and which kinds that they're testing for. And
so now, like California tests for 130 or whatever it is. I don't remember the exact number, and you guys test for 7. We're hoping for something in between, and unfortunately, we lose some from California that are dead. I don't want that. I want them to go to whoever's testing the most, add 10, and then move on from there and keep adding until we get it all figured out. Hi, Mo.
Well, I think it'll be state regulated no matter what they do.
yeah. So I guess on this issue of pesticides, like
Hey,
not necessarily testing more is better, but testing for the right kinds of materials. So like one thing that we pointed out in a survey that we did a little over a year ago, I guess it was a year and a half ago, is that we could go to Lowe's or Home Depot and we could pick up pesticides off the shelf. And Oklahoma is not testing those out of the 13 pesticides that Oklahoma tests for. We don't test for some of these materials that are sitting up there on the shelf. Also, there's other states, including California, that aren't testing for all of these pesticides that are up there on the shelf as well. So what we would like to see with the federal rescheduling is finding out what pesticides are like current, which ones are relevant, and the ones that we should test for. Because like we could sit here and test for like 2,000 pesticides, but that doesn't mean that they're all relevant. That doesn't mean that we're going to find them, and it adds a lot of cost and time and complications to what we're doing. So we just want to make sure that we're doing things like that make sense.
so do you think maybe California checks a little for irrelevant stuff, or?
So not necessarily. So in California, they have a bunch of agriculture out there, and they are using a bunch of different products. They're growing lots of food and other ornamental shrubs and things, and so they're going to have a lot more pesticides out there than we're going to have here in the Midwest. But that doesn't mean that like what they're testing for is necessarily irrelevant. It just means that because they have so much agriculture there, that they have other things that they really should be checking for.
And different parts of the country are gonna. It all depends on
Sure.
how you grow, indoor, outdoor. If you're growing in the ground, your grounds are all going to be different throughout the country. Everybody's going to have different soil and different.
Well, it's clear to me that home grow is the only way to go here.
Back in the 70s and 80s, when I was a child, I remember neighbors. I'm not going to call out anybody, but I remember people burying paint, burying oil, burying things that they couldn't get rid of in the trash back in the day. You remember that? Burying your beer cans at the beach because you didn't want to have to carry them back. You know, that's all. Oh, yeah. Oh, your empties? Oh, yeah. You bury them in the
What
beach.
a loser.
What a bunch of losers. Yeah, I
Right.
remember seeing them doing that.
I agree about the home grow.
But that, I mean, all right, but yeah, you got to be home, and it's getting less and less likely, right? Like home grow's getting less and less likely. I'm hearing less about it. They're taking it away. All right, back to questions here. I got Daniel Ruiz from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Would moving cannabis to Schedule 3 actually improve testing, or are people mistakenly assuming rescheduling will automatically create national safety standards?
Well, I can't say for certain without like everything actually occurring just yet, but I do anticipate things will get better just because we will have, instead of having a bunch of different states and a bunch of different ideas, like we'll have, hopefully the federal government will be a little more cohesive in the things that they're doing and checking out. And we'll have people that are experienced and knowledgeable in lab testing.
I don't know, Jeff. I feel like I love your attitude, and you have such a wonderful attitude, but we are talking about our lying, no good government you're talking about here, who's been lying to us all of our lives, and now you're sitting here saying, well, hopefully they're going to come in and things are going to be great.
Okay, so I don't disagree with you on this on some level. So like, you know that we go to the Capitol a lot. We work with legislators.
You guys are amazing.
But we see both. We see people that are actually trying to do a good job and be honest. But we also do see that management. There's certain pieces of management that don't have the same kind of attitude. But there's definitely good people that are working up at the Capitol. There's definitely good legislators.
I see what you're saying, and I agree with you. But then there's that dude at the top who just says, nah. Sorry.
Yeah, well, and this and getting back to the last podcast that we did about self-policing and all, that's pretty much where we have to kind of step in and say like, hey, well, the federal government may set some minimum standards, but in order to ensure patient safety, we're going to offer testing on all these pesticides, or we're going to give you more information. We're going to give you education on how to read your test results. We're going to promote the businesses that are actually doing it right and doing a good job. And vote with your dollars. Like,
vote with your choice, the right choices. I get it.
Correct.
Somebody's bowling up in heaven up there. I don't know. There's big thunder booms coming around. All right, moving on. Our friend Chloe Bennett from Toronto, Ontario, Canada has federal cannabis regulations, while the United States relies heavily on individual states. What lessons, good or bad, could America learn from the Canadian system? Good question, Chloe.
Yeah, that is a good question. So what I can say is I've only looked at 2 studies that have been done up in Canada. One was about the THC potency inflation thing from a while ago, but the one I find more interesting is about testing of pesticides. So Canada has this list of pesticides they test for. I think it's around almost 70, pretty close to there. And basically, they give a particular method of like how a lab is to be able to detect these pesticides. So they're not saying like you have to test at these particular thresholds. It's like you have to be able to detect them and quantify them at a low the lowest limit possible. And I probably need to fact check myself on this, but I believe that's what the study was saying, if I remember
That
correctly.
makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like they allow enough flexibility for the different labs to test it to the best of their knowledge and to the best accuracy that they can get without being hindering or stifling to the labs as well.
Yeah, I agree, Ronnie. But in some states, we're not allowed to do that. Like
Turn
my
on the chat.
stupid state. What?
Turn on the chat.
I just did.
Thank you.
It said, Ronnie said, homegrown is always the best.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Raymond Ellis from Birmingham, Alabama. If cannabis is being recognized as having medical value, shouldn't every medical patient receive medicine tested under the same basic safety standards, regardless of where they live?
No.
Yeah, and you would really think so. So I remember hearing this pointed out the other day. The DEA just had some rescheduling hearings that occurred within the last couple of weeks.
Right.
And there was definitely people that were talking about how cannabis or medicinal cannabis was being treated different than actual pharmaceutical drugs, where they just aren't treated quite the same way. And that's kind of why we're waiting on seeing how.
I'm losing my mind over here, Jeff. I'm sorry. Every time we discuss the government getting involved or pharmaceutical and big pharma, I am getting more and more nervous that things are going to get worse, not better.
Yeah, and I would say that's normally how it pans out. So
that's why decriminalization is better, and that's why legalizing recreational is important.
Yeah. And you figure that's really where it should be heading on this, but for some reason it's just not. The reality of it is that the federal government is going to be in the way of cannabis, whether you like it or not. So then it's kind of up to us to figure out what do we do to make things better and to make the industry better, and how we can address some of our own problems. Like, that still has to be a piece of it, no matter what.
If I smoke weed, they will give you nothing for pain when needed. Yeah, that's my pain medication right now. Yeah. And they're going to try to offer me pills again, and I'm not interested in that shit, bruh. Anyway, all right. Blue, you got any questions over there, handsome?
Nah, go ahead.
All right, I just wanted to make sure. That was Raymond, right, from Alabama? Yeah.
Raymond?
Yeah, this is Nicole Patterson from Portland, Maine. Thank you, Nicole, for writing in. What should be federally standardized nationwide, and which testing decisions should remain under state or regional control? Jeff, I would assume.
Wow. So I actually do think that we need to have some kind of national standard, honestly, to take care of the problems across the board. But I do think that there might be an issue, kind of like how we talked about in California, where they have a lot of agriculture and probably do need to test for more pesticides. I kind of feel like that the country needs to be broken up into different segments that are kind of more similar as far as like what their agricultural conditions are. So like if there's certain pests that are in the the west coast.
No. It has to be fair across the country. I don't think that I want California to test for 130 and then New York to test for 7. No, I don't. I feel like we should, whatever number it should be, we should come up with a number, whether it's 150, 300, 12, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be 12 or 7. I would want it to be the highest number right now, I feel. And then we go from there. Like, cut out some if they don't really need to be there because they're not doing any harm. But if there's others that we don't know about, add them to the fucking list. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, okay, I've got a couple of comments on this. One, I basically want to say, like, I think that, like, having a total mold and yeast like number that's standardized across all of the states, like, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with testing for mold, yeast, Aspergillus, and all of that as well. But I think that it's going to be more likely to see those Aspergillus in the states such as like the West and the East Coast, or anywhere that has a lot of humidity. It's more likely to potentially have those black mold issues than we will like here in Oklahoma, where it's fairly dry all the time. Like it's
I
100.
guess I can take that into consideration. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be
Yeah.
differences in climates, of course.
True. And then on the pesticide thing, I think a more elegant solution than trying to say, like, let's test for 200 or 300 pesticides. We kind of talk about like classes of compounds. So like one we've talked about are thrins. So like a common one is permethrin or pyrethrins that people use. We're looking at seeing if it would be possible just to test for thrins. And then that way, instead of trying to have these lists updated for pesticides all the time, any thrins that we find actually get reported all as one. So it'd be like the cyperethrin, the cyfluthrin, the prolethrin, permethrin, all those would be included in one. So instead of trying to test for like 300, maybe we end up testing for like 20 or 30 different types of compounds, and it covers anything that comes out there. And as pests evolve and become
if it's found in there, then it's automatically a fail. You know, like I get what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah,
But I got a question for everybody out here who says, "Oh, homegrown is the way." I hope you're all rich enough and affordable so that you can bring your stuff to the lab every month or every year so that you can pay Jeff to test it to make sure that you didn't fuck up and you didn't put something in there, or your soil doesn't have garbage in it, that you're now growing pesticide-filled medicine and you think you're doing your very best. You know, that's something you have to take into consideration. Grow your own and then just test and then not worry about it. You're not going to test what you grow. I will.
No, I know what I put in it.
Well, yeah, but you don't know what's in the earth. You don't know what's. I mean, there's always. You never know. You don't know what lands on it. You don't know what creates mold and how much water got left in that bud before it got harvested. That's all.
Good point.
You take those buds down if they had a big rain and you ain't smart enough to know the difference, and you got buds full of water, and then you cut your shit down and you put it in the dry. Next thing you know, you got a shitload of mold growing in your weed, and you ain't got no idea because you're a dumbass and you didn't go pay Jeff to check it. Point served.
Even if it's grown indoors, there might be toxins indoors too.
Yeah, there's so many things. It's never going to be perfect, but so you want to try to get it as close as you can, I guess. And I'm not against growing your own. Believe me, I want to grow my own.
Well, grow it and have it tested. I'm just not testing mine.
But fuck, I can't even. First off, my state won't even let me grow it. But then second of all, I got a purple thumb. My shit ain't growing nothing. I can't grow crap. I can barely grow a boner. Sorry,
at least
Aviva.
muscle test it.
Sorry, Aviva, and scribbles my mouth. I apologize.
I'm trying to ignore it. You don't
yes, I apologize. And everybody out there, but it's true. I'm getting old. It doesn't happen as often. Anyway, that being said, Jeff, what were you? Not to cut you. I already cut you off. Do you want to go on to the next question? I know you said you had a couple points on that.
Well, hold on. I was going to say, to your point about burying all that trash earlier, like. If you bought land and somebody was burying some tin cans back in the day that may have some like lead and other things in there, sure, like you could possibly pull those up. But I think one of the interesting things is that like the reason that we're testing for some of these pesticides isn't necessarily because the cannabis grows are spraying products on or spraying these pesticides onto their products. It's overspray from farmland right around them that are.
And you have no control over that.
Yeah, and it ends up drifting into somebody's
absolutely
ventilation systems. It gets on their plants, like
right.
So,
your dude next door to your house over there, Blue, has the lawn guy come every week, and he comes and he is spraying for. I'm just using it as an example. You got your pretty beautiful plant growing out there on your deck. Pretty and beautiful, but my man's over there spraying the trees for mist and bugs and pesticides, and you're not home. You're in on the couch watching the World Cup, and you don't even recognize. But next thing you know, your plant is covered in mold of a mist that he's using to kill all the bugs and the skeeters and the palmetto bugs in Florida. And now you're going to be smoking that in a couple months because you didn't pay Jeff to test it.
That palmetto bug juice gives you a little extra high. I like it.
That's a little extra buzz. I agree, but some of those aren't safe. Palmetto bug juice might be safe. No, it's not safe. Don't listen to him. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
They wouldn't use it if it wasn't safe.
It's not safe. It kills bugs.
It's well, yeah, but it's pet and people friendly.
Oh my God. So am I until I get angry.
That doesn't make no difference.
All right, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. But I was just basically going to address like, yeah, if you're home growing, like, I agree. Like, you know, your inputs that you're putting in there, it is still worth checking out to see if there's other junk in your soil. Like, I even remember reading these old books about automotive maintenance where they would put rocks in the ground and then you just pour your used motor oil down into the ground. And
That's
then cover
what
it up.
I'm talking about. Back in the 70s, man. Those dirt bags back then, no offense to any of you dirt bags, but they used to do a lot of that crazy shit. I remember I'm not going to mention any names, but one of my uncles used to go to the beach all the time, and anything we needed to take care of it got buried in the beach. You know, it was just, that's what you did. You took a dump, you buried it in the beach. You did
So
it. You took a piss. But it was a different time. We didn't know about the world and how we were fucking it up. And now, unfortunately, these smart junior kids here are coming up with all these weird things, telling us that we're screwing up the world. And I think they might be onto something.
Scribbles looks like Big Frank.
Kind of does. Scribbles, you didn't have your V8 juice like Big Frank. You're all crooked. Hey, Mo, you're missing a hell of a conversation.
Hey, Mo.
I know, I've heard.
Jeff has been starting a lot of trouble.
I'm trying my best.
He is.
Frank is laughing his ass off over there because Scribbles does kind of look like him. Nicole Patterson from Portland, Maine. We did that one. Marcus Lee from Sacramento, California. Could federal involvement genuinely protect patients, or could it simply create another expensive layer of rules that honest laboratories must follow while dishonest operators keep cheating?
I'm going with number 2 on that one.
There's cheating going on? What the hell?
Mo, you want to take that one?
I mean, I imagine I've heard certain things where with like federal rights and you being a citizen, you'd have certain rights where you would be a little bit more protected. But obviously on the lab end for testing, it's the same deal where we deal with all the time. People can talk about inconsistencies with labs and whatever else, but if you're not actually able to see the inside, you don't know what actually is happening, and everything can be manipulated. That's like the foundational information. If no one's showing you actually the protocols and actually proving that they're actually doing the correct protocols, then you can always deviate off and you can always manipulate data. You can pass a proficiency test when you know you're being audited, but then whenever it's your own thing, you can manipulate data anytime you want.
I got a question, not to get off topic, but it made me
I believe that, Mo, is the human way.
Do what?
I believe that's the human way.
Human way, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of where we argue it's an integrity issue. Like, we know how to cheat. We know how to cheat. We could have made a lot more money manipulating data, but we chose not to, and we thought it was a disservice to and that's kind of one of the interesting things when Jeff
disservice to me.
Yeah, when Jeff created the lab and asked me to get started, it was kind of one of my hopes, because I've been in other businesses before and how manipulation kind of can happen. I was really hoping that science had a little bit of a foundational integrity. Yeah, and almost a little bit of oaths, but obviously everything's lifeblood of everything's business.
We find out more and more every day. Now let me get to my question, because I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you do, but reservations on in Oklahoma, do you have reservations, indigenous land?
Yeah.
You do. Do they have to follow lab standards?
Good question. I don't even know if they're.
And I don't think they do. I'm only assuming, but I know a lot of people in the New York area who just go and they're like, "Oh man, I can go to the reservation." No, I'm not picking on the reservations. I'm sure their flower is grown to the best of their ability. But if they don't have any testing and you're going there, just think about that. You don't know what's going on up there or in any reservation, what they're doing behind the scenes. I'm not picking on them. I'm not calling them out.
Yeah, and their own laws and their own regulations.
They have their own rules and their own laws. Yeah. So I mean, hopefully they're doing the right thing, and I'm sure they are because
I think they have to, according to the Hemp Farming Act, because there's a provision for them in it.
Is there? See, I don't know. I'm only assuming, but I'm like thinking about it. And I'm like, I know there's a reservation here, and I know a lot of people, not here in Pennsylvania by me anyway, but I know a lot of people up in New York who go to a reservation, and they're like, we get great deals, $100 ounces, some decent flour, and I'm like, yeah, I wonder who tests that because
you have reservations.
They have their own rules. Yeah, if they have their own rules and their own laws there. I'm sure that people are doing whatever they have to do to protect themselves.
I think you don't have to have the processing licenses but they still have to test.
Right.
Okay.
I would assume the whatever you call them are
indigenous.
Yeah, supposedly people of medicine. So I imagine they do pretty well at it.
Yeah, we'd hope by stereotyping that the indigenous population would actually be like more into the herbal medicine for sure.
Right. That's what I would think.
But obviously at the same time they got to have money too. Like in Oklahoma, our indigenous, like you have a right for casinos that can only be on native lands or native organizations.
Right.
Yeah,
so native games.
Alexander Plume is a friend of mine, and I think he was rated. I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Denise Holloway, Columbus, Ohio. Oh, this should be a good one. Who should actually? I only said that because I know you're from Ohio. Who should actually write national cannabis testing standards? Laboratory scientists, doctors, patient advocates, regulators, growers, or a combination of all five?
Well, I mean, I definitely think it should actually include lab people that are working in the industry rather than people that may be specializing in certain sectors of like labs and whatnot.
Blue's got fleas.
Nice.
He's scratching again.
Yeah, just smoke some of that pesticide-laden weed and get some of those pesticide vapors over there, and take care of that flea problem.
Yeah.
I guess.
You talking to me?
Yeah. Did you have a question? Your hand was up, or were you scratching your
I did, but now I forgot.
Oh, God.
I would imagine it should take like a whole round table of patient advocates.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess that the people who test it should obviously be involved, but it doesn't really matter who makes them until people want to go buy it. You know what I mean?
The problem with just people testing is because like there's a huge problem with lab shopping and a huge problem with manipulating data. So I'm not saying like, yeah, we're in a lab, but that doesn't mean we're the highest integrity individuals. We need money too. So with the whole situation, I'm obviously, in my opinion, I think it would just be a round table with the patient advocates, like, so then they're getting more education on how analytes are tested, how actually the science actually works, the laboratories, right? And then you have the growers, processors, the whole industry, really, all the people at every end. I think there should be a transparent and open conversation, and no topic should really be off limits. The problem is that we've encountered where we've invited certain laboratories and certain things for roundtable conversations. They don't really want to have a live stream live.
Nobody wants to crack their book because they don't want to. They don't want to be the one that starts the whole. I guess dam falling down, like it's staying together right now, barely. And one word could break the whole dam, And
plausible deniability is a very good tactic. Yeah. If I don't have to have a conversation, I don't have to be in the same room. That's why we've always invited anybody on a roundtable conversation. We'd love to have other labs even on this thing and have a debate on what the science is.
Absolutely. Any labs that want to come join us, we'd love to have you. Absolutely.
But no one's really taken us up on that offer. So that's kind of
I think we haven't made a big enough we're starting to, you know what I mean? Like people are starting to notice us now that we're calling people out.
But I'd imagine even locally. I mean, locally there are labs locally that in our
we're
state.
not calling them out for fights. We're calling them out to work together, figure this shit out. But
Yeah,
you can go
have an
right there
honest
to
conversation.
Harvard Labs, twitch.tv/Harvard
Yeah,
Labs
that's right.
for your transparency. You can go right there and ask them questions while testing. So
Absolutely.
Have you guys ever tested water, like especially the water that the farmers are using to water the plants?
bleh.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So-
another thing, man. My water here tastes like goddamn chlorine. When I water my plants, what am I supposed to do? Burrow?
You gotta leave it out overnight in a watering can, and then the chlorine evaporates.
Oh my god, it's horrible. I don't even drink. Well, I have a filtration system.
Well, would the
now.
chlorides be left over though?
So
I
that's
don't
actually
think so. I think if you leave it out for 24 hours, a lot of it evaporates, or maybe it's just the
Yeah.
fluoride.
so
In the
yeah.
moon.
So if
for
your
testing.
system or if you're a region that they may treat with chlorine, but they also may not. They have been switching to this other thing that's a fluorinated product that has chlorine in it as well.
I
And it's
think they
made
test
where-
with chlorine and mud because it's usually coming out like a light shade of brown and
Chlorine does that.
Chlorine
Nice.
flavored. Yeah, that's our water here.
So what were you saying, Jeff?
So they do use a couple different chemicals to try to sterilize the municipal water systems, and some of it is a different compound than just regular chlorine that is meant to stay around in the water. And it depends on like how your water is actually treated, whether the leaving it out will work or not. But the other thing to it as well is when we do check people's waters, especially if they're using well water, that depending on the levels of those aquifers, they may concentrate certain types of minerals or dilute them down. So like during the rainy seasons and the aquifers get more full, like heavy metals and things in their waters will get more diluted. Yeah. And then
less iron, you'll have less stuff than you normally have, less fluoride. No,
That's
I don't know
interesting
about
because
fluoride.
for a couple of weeks I just haven't made it to the well where I get my water. And only the last couple of days have I not been able to evaporate the chlorine. I've been tasting it, and it has been really rainy.
Yeah, potentially. So yeah,
What's
I mean,
the
like
chemical that doesn't evaporate? Maybe they just added it. Maybe it changes daily.
I am looking. I know that they're using. I'm trying to look it up.
Because I visited my treatment facility. I got some videos too. It's kind of creepy. But you know, they were pretty proud of themselves. And one of the guys said that hot showers, it just burns the chlorine off. So if you use the hot water, you can, that's another thing you can do. You can fill your watering can with hot water and then let it sit out. Maybe that's what I did. I think I forgot to do the hot water when I had the water sitting out the last couple of days. I think that's what happened.
Was it a full moon too?
No, it's not even
Oh.
close to a full moon.
All right.
Why aren't you paying attention to the moon? It's important.
Because you're a witch. Don't the witches put the water out in the moon and let it turn into blue moon or water? I don't know.
Moon water. Yeah.
Moon water.
Turns into beer, blue moon.
Yeah, when
or
there's a
something
full
like
moon,
that.
Moon-
it pulls the parasites out of you. Like it makes them more active.
Moon,
Right.
char-
I don't
moon
have
charged
parasites
water.
in me. Yeah,
Wonder
no,
if
I don't
Squatch
have-
knows that.
I wonder if
Okay,
Squatch
you
knows
got.
that.
Oh yeah, you got parasites. Oh yeah.
Not me.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
me. I just had a colonoscopy this week.
Oh yeah.
So you guys test for water, Mo?
Yeah,
Yes.
we've tested water. Yeah. Water, soil, media, any type of media.
All right, I got a question from Trevor Mills, Halifax, Nova Scotia. This should be a good one. What would a successful national cannabis testing framework look like 5 years after it was introduced? Yeah, I
Well,
told you it was going to be a good one.
I would at least hope that. So some of our problems are that we try to address issues and they don't get listened to by our regulators. They don't get updated, and then we end up fighting against some of the other like labs and lobbying groups for trying to do better testing.
She's a witch. Sorry.
So yeah, so what we would really hope is that like we would hope that whoever is writing these regulations would actually like listen and respond, be thoughtful to like things that are actually being brought about. Like as far as what we need to be testing for, and hopefully that we could make regulations that make sense. So, but that all just kind of depends. That just kind of depends on whether people are listening. That depends whether regulations can get through the approving government agencies.
You know what the part is everybody cares when it comes down to the second that it matters, when it's already too late. But they all will sit here and say, yes, I care and I want to help, but then nobody steps up and does nothing, and then we're stuck last minute, and then we're all trying to gather together to try to pull it off instead of working on it continuously all the years all together. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what would be cool. Go ahead.
Washing the dishes every single day.
I can't stand it. Why are you bringing that shit up for, girl?
Yeah.
I wash the dishes every day. I hate it.
I do too.
Hate it. Anyway, moving on.
I threw the dishwasher off the boat though, so you know.
Were you good with that one, Jeff, or Mo? Do you want to add to it?
Well, I think like that's kind of the reason why having like a patient group, a science group, and a grow processing group to raise to raise our own standards. Say these are
everybody
our own
should
standards.
Hold each other accountable.
Here's our
all
standards.
Hold each other accountable to make sure that we're doing the very best to give out the best medicine.
And put out.
You've heard Massachusetts, right? It's on its way. They're voting it out.
Yeah.
Recreation it's going to be the first state to lose recreation. I hope not. God, I hope not.
Wow.
But they are on the ballot to vote to get rid of recreation. They are already hating it there. And you know why? Because people are doing bad things. They're fucking with it, and people are getting sick.
That's kind of what I'm saying is like have our own competing brands, have our own competing applications and platforms that literally have a different set of standards that are way higher. And rather than it being pay to play, in all actuality, I think the way it should be ranked of like grows, processors, labs, whatever else, is the ones that are willing to be the most transparent. So rather than you like Google ads being able to pay to be like the top hit, instead it would be, hey, here's the criteria.
Work your way up.
The ones that are willing to jump through the majority of hoops to build the trust.
To do what you
should
need to
be
do.
It doesn't matter how big your grow is, if it's the smallest grow, but you're willing to show everything that you're doing and
you're
what
putting
your inputs
out
are.
The best quality product. You're putting in 110% every day. Putting out quality medicine and standing up for it and taking the credit for it when something bad goes wrong and calling. And I hate this stuff that I've been hearing lately about. They don't even need to tell us about recalls, and we got to go look it up ourselves. So if you're interested, go look up your recalls and your medicine that you're.
You know what?
And see if it's been recalled, because it may have been recalled, because they don't have to tell us anybody. Not all states. I don't know what the rules are on every state, but I've heard it in numerous states. They don't even need to tell it. I don't have to tell us anything here in Pennsylvania. So I can only imagine about the recalls. What's up, Lou?
I still get emails for recalls from my dispensary in Ohio.
Well, that's a dispensary who's doing their job. That's nice.
Guys, why don't we make an app so people can just like tune into the app and see all the recalls and see the quality of
that's what I'm saying. I have a different version of like weed maps. Instead of weed maps where they charge so much money for these growers and processors.
Everybody shush. We could talk about that behind the stage. We want to give our secrets away.
I know, it was a good idea. I was going to
that's kind of what we're building right now.
Ixnay on the app, May.
I want to do that with like red flag app, like how you know that someone you're dating is like crazy.
Yeah, there you go. Moving on.
Are we dating the same guy?
No, we're not.
We're not.
Amanda Brooks, Charlotte, North Carolina, says if you could create one mandatory national testing panel tomorrow, which contaminants and compounds would every cannabis product be tested for? Sorry, that was a rough one for me.
Yeah, that's
I felt like Rocky trying to read that one.
He said, huh?
Well, I mean, that's a really big question. I mean, like, if we're talking on the safety side, like, I feel like a lot of states do actually require quite a few tests that we already need to be checking for, like certain types of like heavy metals and microbials and things. I mean, people are at least making attempts at pesticides, but as far as like which ones, like that's a little bit more of a process to like.
Well, that's more than we want to know, right? I mean, let's just worry about pesticides in general.
Well, that's kind of where it'd be like probably heavy metals, and then you'd have like what Jeff's proposing is the family of pesticide compounds.
Yeah, like the Aspergillus or whatever the hell you called it
Well,
before.
that's the mold, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. But a whole family of that
So
type
you
of
do like
thing,
microbials, heavy metals, and then pesticide families, and then really
and
not
have 15 categories, and amongst those categories have 20 subcategories, which will fail you if you have that in there.
in a cool world where we could try to nerf the whole desire of the percentages of cannabinoids, have a cannabinoid profile, have a terpene
So
profile.
sad we have to worry about
but no
all the
numbers
bad.
attached to that, and then just have the numbers on the potential risk ones.
Yeah,
Right.
It's so sad that we have to worry about all this, and we can't worry about and concentrate on all the benefits because we have to worry about figuring out what's so bad about it before they can even allow us to use it. Like, yay, they're giving us. Anyway, Stephanie Grant, Burlington, Vermont. How do regulators decide which pesticides belong on a required testing list, and how often should those lists be updated? I didn't ask our stoners these questions. I went right to the bright ones today.
Well, I actually don't know how these lists are actually put together. I know how they should be. Like, what each I guess
as a laboratory, don't you think that should be a right to know?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we should have a great idea of like which pesticides we should be testing for, and like the way these are typically done is by what's called a survey. So like, people would go out and check out a bunch of different stores, see which products are available to people, and then they would find which the most popular brands are, and then we'd be testing for those that like they may test like the top third or half of these pesticides that are going to be the most common ones to potentially pop up, and like those are the ones that they should be doing to select the pesticide list. But I think
hard.
I think states are just kind of grabbing from other states and testing for those. And without like actually seeing if those pesticides are relevant in their own states or in their regions. So like here in the Midwest, here in Oklahoma, like we'd have different pesticides than we'd have other places. And then we also have like different chemical manufacturing plants that probably supply different types of chemicals and pesticides and whatnot. So like really we should be doing surveys to figure out what is relevant, but I don't think that's being done. I think that certain lists are just being arbitrarily gathered. So like maybe Oklahoma was like, what we need to do is like, we need to test to the Oregon standards. So we're just going to grab their list, even though it's not necessarily relevant. Or some other state like New York might just be like, hey, you know what? We should check what they have in Colorado. Like completely different regions, completely different.
Yeah, man, they did it first, so they got to know what's going on by now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, totally. Our friend Paige Armstrong from Regina, Saskatchewan. Should laboratories test only for individual contaminants, or should they also investigate what happens when several contaminants appear together in the same product?
Yeah, well, I mean, that can certainly happen. And I would think that at least depending on what the contaminants are, they could have an effect on the other things. I guess without just like talking about a specific situation, it's really kind of hard to comment on that one.
Austin, you are late, sir, but we'll forgive you. All right, Aaron Wallace.
Saying like, I don't know. Have you guys read the book "The Cure for All Diseases" by Hulda Clark?
I missed that one.
And she like does combos of different things and how they cause different diseases.
Cofactors.
Yeah. Like she linked benzene to almost all cases of AIDS and isopropyl alcohol to all cases of cancer. But I mean, this is just, hearsay.
Interesting.
But, I mean, after I read that book, I got rid of all of my soap that had isopropyl and just changed it out to glycerin or whatever other products or just natural soaps and stuff. And and then all of a sudden the hand sanitizer, I was like, you guys realize not only are you putting a liver toxin in your body with isopropyl alcohol, and I use it to clean my glasses and stuff, but, to use hand sanitizer like 20 million times a day, no, bro.
Oh,
right.
Shit.
You might as well smoke the weed I smoke.
I'm never leaving my room again. I'm not going out of this. Anyway,
I bet.
Carlos Hernandez, Monterrey, Mexico. Could cannabis grown near, we just spoke about this, conventional farms become contaminated by pesticides drift, even when the cannabis grower never applied those chemicals? Obviously, we just spoke about that.
Yeah.
Carlos.
Are they suing people for that? I thought there were some law cases where they were
Oh, I'm sure.
stop people from spraying
It
nearby.
wouldn't be America if they weren't suing them.
Right.
So I,
So true.
I know it happened the other way where the GMOs were like, "Hey, you're using our seed," and they're like, "Well, you crossbred with me."
Yeah, you
Well,
your seed on my
You
property.
put your chocolate in my peanut butter.
That's better.
Exactly.
well, and kind of like you pointed out before, like
Now I'm
glyphosates
hungry.
and other things that are coming from these other commercial farms could be contaminating the crops as well. Like you just don't know. And now instead of eating glyphosates, like you're smoking them and inhaling
Yeah.
them.
Oh,
Right.
it's horrible for the brain and the lungs. And then, like, just to go back to the isopropyl conversation, it's like, yeah, she figured out when she eliminated it from people's diets, they actually had some very good results in getting rid of the cancer, like, or the skin or diet.
Remissions. Yeah.
But is that because of the isopropyl alcohol or because of something else in their body that was reacting with the isopropyl alcohol? I don't know.
Right.
We'll never know. It's like how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. We'll
3.
never know. Well, yeah, apparently 3, but
3 licks.
all right.
But you guys know,
lick is
sorry, this
different.
is off topic, but do you know how you make like cannabis butter? Oh, it's 5 already. And like, but I recently found out that the reason why a lot of ethnic foods, they make their butter with the spices first because it also extracts the chemicals that are needed for the healing of that spice. So if you're just like shaking turmeric powder over things afterwards, no, you need to like extract it from the butter simmering first.
Oh.
And like cinnamon.
I told you she was a witch.
So
Anyway,
she's activated.
Moving on. No,
Exactly. You got to activate your spices, y'all.
Like weed. Nice.
Wonder Twin powers activate. All right, moving on. Last question, then we got to get out of here. It's 5 o'clock already. Aaron
5
Wallace from
o'clock.
Spokane. Is that Spokane, Washington.
Hey.
Should outdoor cannabis greenhouses greenhouse cannabis and indoor cannabis require different testing panels because they face different environmental dangers?
Yeah,
I think
that's
standard.
Yeah, that's one I can't really speak on. Like, it seems like if there's a study or something done to figure out what the potential hazards are for both of them, that would be interesting. I don't know that those exist, but I've never looked for them. So
yeah, I imagine being an outdoor grow or a greenhouse, you're exposed to more variables, right? Obviously, if you have a farm next to you that's spraying pesticides on their crop, then obviously a higher like liability. But I think in general, just having the same standard that's smokable.
Indoor warehouse,
and an indoor warehouse
safer, but then you got other things that could be causing issues.
You got more things that could be exposed, maybe heavier metals because you have drywall that's exposed or something else.
Mold.
And even Jeff and I were talking about earlier about electrical conduits and those having nickel and lead.
A wet floor on the sheetrock wall, next thing you know, you got black mold growing.
For sure. I'd imagine just having one standard that's still consumable for human beings. But obviously, if that standard is ever evolving and you have a group of individuals that are
I don't think we could ever find something that's going to be perfect, everybody's
everyone's different.
How do you know about the nickel thing?
Me?
How do you know about the nickel in the outlets?
Very rich.
On the conduits, electrical conduits? Jeff can probably speak better on that.
Sure.
That they're plated.
So there's a lot of metal components used in construction that are galvanized with like zinc, and zinc can have other types of heavy metals that are contained in there. So like if some of those metals end up getting into your plant materials, they can be a source of certain types of metals. So I believe we've seen elevated levels of like lead and things before when some conduits actually been in contact with soil.
What? Oh, because the conduits are going into the ground.
Well, because like whether they end up like if a repair or something is done and it falls down into the plant material, or maybe if the conduit was like somehow in contact with either water or soil, or like something condensed on those pipes and dripped down into the plants, like that would be a source.
Like a
Yeah,
fence, like a metal fence.
your air conditioner pipes, when they start working real hard outside, they be sweating all the time, look at dripping on the ground.
What about
I mean,
grounding rods?
I don't have my weed plants growing underneath my air conditioning, but that soil could be, absorb it, and then it, saturates and whatever, All right, we got to wrap this up,
Wow.
kids.
Smart
I'm sorry.
That's
What a conversation today. We put cannabis testing under the microscope, turned it sideways, shook it a little, checked the label, and asked whether the people responsible for protecting patients are actually doing their jobs. We talked about pesticides, microbes, mold, aspergillus, heavy metals, potency, inflation, lab shopping, regional dangers, honest science, and the need for standards that patients can actually trust. And the biggest message coming out of today's show is simple. Patients should never have to gamble with their medicine. A label should mean something. A laboratory result should mean something. And when a product says it's clean, safe, I don't know who that is, but they better hang up now.
I don't know either.
That's pretty. It's like outro music.
Not me.
That's my Discord being called in the middle of a show. That being said, and when a product says it's clean and accurately tested, every patient should be able to trust that information no matter what state, province, or region they call from home. I want to give a huge thank you to all of my amazing co-hosts and crew. To Bongwater Blue, thank you for jumping into this madness, holding it down, and helping keep this crazy train moving down the tracks.
Right.
To Aviva, thank you for bringing your voice, your heart, and your perspective to the conversation. To Scribbles, thank you for always being here and bringing the energy and honesty and that special kind of chaos that makes the show what it is. And of course, to the massive thank you to Jeff and Mo. You two continue to take complicated laboratory science and explain it in a way that real people and real patients can understand, and we thank you for that. Thank you for speaking honestly. Thank you for asking the difficult questions. Thank you for standing up for clean medicine, accurate results, and patient safety, even when the truth makes people uncomfortable. That is exactly why we do this show, and this show exists. To everybody who joined us today live, thank you. Thank you for every comment. Thank you for every question. Thank you for every reaction. Thank you for every like, subscription, and share. Every time you interact with this show, it helps us reach another patient, another scientist, another advocate, and maybe even a regulator who needs to hear what was said here today. Please keep liking, subscribing, and sharing the show. Invite your friends, invite your patients, invite your growers, invite your laboratory people. Hell, invite the regulators. Maybe one of them will finally listen. One hand washes the other, and when we're all supposed to support each other with we all get a little stronger if we support each other. Before we go, I have one final
My
message.
God, you talk Scribble straight.
I'm sorry, Scribbles. Before we go, I have one final message. Dosa Ganjavelli, brother, wherever you are, please come home. We miss you.
Home. We miss you.
Yeah.
Your microphone misses you. Your chair has been sitting here staring sadly at the door all day. Even the Funyuns have started asking questions. I'm truly sorry that somebody hurt your feelings or made you believe your voice was not wanted here. Your voice matters, Ganjavelli. You matter. And
Yeah,
this
don't listen
family,
to haters. I hear them all the time.
and this right. And
they
this
say
family
things.
is not the same without you, Ganjavelli. So please, Dosa, turn that mysterious little traveler's bundle around. Bring your sandals back home and walk through the studio door, please.
Yeah.
There
And
will
if anyone's
always.
in Georgia, if
Go ahead.
anyone's in Georgia, I haven't invited people yet. Every Tuesday at 7, they have a Georgia meeting, and everyone's welcome to it. It's a Zoom. So
I know somebody who will be very interested in that.
yeah, let me know.
I will. There will always be a microphone waiting here for you, Dosa. We love you, brother. We miss you. Sail on, sailor, but hopefully you'll sail your ass right back to your home. Until we meet again, keep your heart open, your medicine clean, and your circle filled with the real ones. The hippie loves you, so grow with the flow and let the good vibes roll.
Yeah, and at least everyone knows you're a guy. Everyone thinks I'm a girl. I get misgendered all the time.
Well, you have to tell them that that's your gender on the top of your
I
head.
know that.
I've always known. You had your gender
The
hanging out
antenna that
before.
gives it away.
I don't know where I am. This has been Stuffed and Uncensored on WTHC Radio. For patients, by patients, your 420 celebration station. I want to thank you all. Everybody have a great night. Good night. Thank you so much for being here.
You guys are great. Bye-bye. You guys are great.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Great show.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
No script, no rules, just jokes on blast. Stories flying way too fast. If you're bored, well, not no more. 'Cause here we go at 4 o'clock sharp. You hear that knock? That's the fun at the door. Tuesday at 4.